Welcome to Gastro Vision. Today, we are going to tackle something that is absolutely fundamental to endoscopic ultrasound: orientation. We're going to break down 3 core rules that I promise will completely change how you navigate your images. So whether you're just starting your fellowship or you're a resident looking to get a leg up, this is for you. You know, this quote really gets to the heart of it. Being good at EUS isn't just about seeing what's on the screen. It's about knowing what should be there before it even appears. That's the leap from just reacting to an image to truly predicting it. And that's our entire goal today, to get you into that predictive mindset. So here's how we're going to do it. We'll talk about moving from reactive to predictive thinking. Then we'll dive into Rule 1, all about probe anatomy. Rule 2 covers depth and distance. And finally, Rule 3, which is all about rotation. This is the tricky one. Okay, let's get into it. All right, rule number 1. It all starts with the tool in your hands. You have to know your probe. At the very tip of your echo endoscope, the transducer has 2 key landmarks you need to burn into your brain. The proximal end, that's the part closer to the scope shaft, and the distal end, the part that's kind of free-floating at the tip. Now, here's the magic trick, and it's actually super simple. The proximal end of the probe, the part near the shaft, always corresponds to the right side of your screen. And the distal end, the free tip, corresponds to the left side of your screen. Just repeat it. Proximal is right, distal is left. This is the absolute foundation. Okay, so let's make this real. Imagine you're doing a scope and you see a lesion pop up on the far left side of your screen. You need to get it in the middle to get a better look, maybe for a biopsy. What do you do with the scope? What's your immediate move? You advance. Simple as that. Why? Well, because the left side of the screen is the distal end of your probe. So to bring that lesion from the periphery to the center, you just have to push the scope forward a little. See? No more random fumbling. Your movements are now precise and intentional. And this rule is absolutely critical when you're doing procedures like a fine needle aspiration. Your needle always comes out near the proximal end of the transducer, so where is it going to show up on the screen? The right side, exactly. It'll then track from right to left. And when you pull on that elevator, you're just sharpening the angle to steer that needle right where you want it. All right, building on that, let's get to rule number 2. Depth equals distance. Now, this sounds obvious, right? Things closer to the probe are at the top of the image, things farther away are at the bottom. But here's the catch. The meaning of closer and farther completely flips depending on which way your probe is pointing. So let's start with a home base. Picture this. Your scope is at the GE junction, and the transducer is pointing straight ahead, anteriorly. We'll call this the neutral position. Your sound waves are now traveling from the patient's back to their front, from posterior to anterior. What does that mean for your image? Well, the posterior structures are physically closer to the probe, so they're going to be right at the top of your screen in the upper field. And the anterior structures, which are further away, will appear deeper, down in the lower field. For instance, you'll see the posterior segment 2 of the liver up top, and the more anterior segment 3 will be down at the bottom. But now, let's change things up. Let's rotate the scope clockwise. Just a simple turn. Suddenly, your transducer isn't facing forward anymore. It's now looking towards the patient's right side. The entire map of your image has just been redrawn. With that clockwise turn, your sound waves are now going from the middle of the body outwards, from medial to lateral. So guess what's at the top of your screen now? The medial structures. They're the closest. And the lateral structures, out on the patient's right, are now the farthest away, so they'll be at the bottom of the screen. Understanding this shift is everything. Okay, this brings us to rule number 3. And I'm going to be honest, this is the one that messes with everyone's head at first. It's the most counterintuitive rule of the bunch, but I promise you, once this one clicks, it's a total game changer for your speed and accuracy. So let's try another clinical problem. You're back at the GE junction, neutral position. You need to find the hepatic hilum. So first question, which way are you going to rotate the scope? And second, and this is the important one, which part of the screen are your eyes glued to? Here it is. This is the aha moment. The rotation is the easy part. You turn clockwise towards the liver. The hard part is knowing where to look. So think of it this way. Imagine you're standing face to face with someone. Their right hand is on your left, right? It's a mirror image. Your EUS probe and screen have that exact same relationship. Let's just state it plainly so it sinks in. When you turn the probe to its right, the new anatomy will show up on the screen's left. When you turn the probe to its left, new anatomy appears on the screen's right. It's an inverse, mirrored relationship. You have to commit that to memory. So let's solve our puzzle. To find the hepatic hilum, you rotate clockwise. that points the probe towards its right. And since the probe's right is the screen's left, you should be looking at the left side of your monitor. The hilar structures will slide into view right from that side. Knowing that, you can find it in seconds, not minutes. Okay, let's bring it all home. We've gone through 3 rules, and I know it can feel a little abstract just hearing it. That's totally normal. The only way this becomes second nature is by consciously thinking about it and practicing it on every single case. Here they are, all in one place, your new mantra. Rule 1, proximal is right, distal is left. Rule 2, closer is upper field, but remember that closer changes with rotation. And Rule 3, the probe's right is the screen's left. Before you touch any dial or move the scope, just take a half second, pause, and predict what you expect to see. Because when you start doing that, you completely change the nature of the procedure. EUS is no longer this reactive thing where you're just hunting for stuff. It becomes a controlled, systematic examination where you are the one in charge. You're telling the image what to do, not the other way around. I really hope this gives you a new way to think about EUS orientation. If it was helpful, do us a favor and subscribe to Gastro Vision because we have a lot more of these explainers coming. In fact, next time, we're going to apply these exact rules to specific stations. Thanks so much for watching.